So we have to work on the mindset first. And so let's talk about some ways I work with my clients on mindset. And I know most of the people who are watching this are a bit woo, so they've probably heard about affirmations. So I teach the proper way to do affirmations, and affirmations now have been scientifically proven. Navy SEALs are using positive self-talk here in the US. The most acclimated, the best athletes in the world, they use affirmations and visualization to achieve their dreams, to achieve those medals, those Olympic medals that they're getting.
Welcome to today's episode of Pathways to Wellbeing. And with me, I'm really excited to chat to the amazing Joe, who's joining us all the way from New York to talk about a wonderful, interesting topic, which is money, something that is on all our minds. So welcome, Joel. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me, Sophia. It's a great pleasure and honor to be here. Thank you so much.
Not a problem. And I said, I'm really excited because we're chatting about how to create money miracles, which, if we can just get straight to the point, I've got lots of questions. We're going to talk about lots of things, but because we're predominantly, Sacred You is predominantly a spiritual community, and there seems to be a little bit of a conflict with spirituality and being financially free. So I'd love to know about your journey, and I'd love to know how you got to where you are now. You're a hedge fund creator and all sorts of things, and you help so many other people to get over their limiting beliefs about money. And that could be a limiting belief, that money and spirituality don't mix. So how did you get to where you are now, Joel?
So thank you again, Sophia, for having me and for the question. So I started my career in finance, and I went through a long journey. And as you mentioned, I did achieve my dream. My dream was to be a money manager. And if you had asked me back in 1993, before you were born, Sophia, I would have told you that my dream was to be a money manager. And it took me 15 years. I achieved the dream. And I started working at Citi as a hedge fund manager, managing a $300 million portfolio to start for Citigroup in 2008, which you may remember was not the best year in the stock market. Here in the US, the stocks were down 40% on average. Financial companies, the only ones I was invested in, were down 57%. And I managed to make a little bit of money that year, made more money the next year. 4 years later, there was a law passed that banks can't own hedge funds. We were all laid off, which actually gave me the kick in the butt to start my own firm. So I started Salomon Capital, which my company name still today is named after my daughters, Lauren and Morgan. So L-A-U-R for Lauren, M-O-R for Morgan. So I started my own hedge fund, and I thought, I'm done. This is what I'm going to be doing the rest of my life. And I went to a personal development course in December 2015, and there was a guy there pitching stock options as the only way to get rich. He said, you don't need much time, you don't need much money. This is how the rich people get rich, and options are essentially risk-free. And I was sick to my stomach. It was day 2 of the conference, so people knew that I was a hedge fund manager, and they were tapping me on the shoulder and then whisper in my ear, Joel, does this make sense? Are options really risk-free? So I was polite. After he was done, we went out of the auditorium. I told him, please don't do this. He has no idea about you personally, any of you, and most importantly, no idea about your belief that you can become rich using options. I went home that night, I couldn't sleep. I realized if I could ever get up the courage to speak on a stage, see, my biggest fear that day was public speaking, I could be authentic, not lie to people, tell the people the truth about money, and be of service. And I think it hit me at 4:30. I jumped out of bed. I quickly got dressed. I was in my office in Midtown Manhattan before the sun rose. And I sent an email to my investors telling them I'm giving them their money back. I'm shutting down my fund. I figured out my true purpose. in life. And so now I call myself a prosperity coach, and I'm teaching people the truth about money, that there's many different ways to become rich, and it's good to be rich. And I teach people how to change their mindset. I teach people how to manifest money, and I teach people how to invest it. And what I don't do is tell them, this is the way you have to become rich. It could be options, but it could be stocks. It could be your business. It could be bonds. It could be crypto. It could be a side business. It could be YouTube monetization. It could be Instagram. There's a million different ways. And so let's get to the second part of your question, because my target market, the people who resonate with me the most, are spiritual entrepreneurs, the Reiki master, the yoga teacher, meditation teacher, health coach, nutrition coach, hypnotist, energy healer. Those are my people. And as you can tell, I'm quite spiritual. And a lot of them come to me with this limiting belief that they were taught growing up, and I was taught growing up, that if you're a good person, if you're a good soul, you're spiritual, that you can't be rich. Those evil rich people, those crazy rich people, those dirty rich people. And I will tell you from my experience as a hedge fund manager, interviewing many CEOs, CFOs of the largest companies in the United States, that they are also the kindest, most generous people that I've met in my lifetime. And so it's a massive limiting belief to say, I'm spiritual, so I shouldn't be rich. In fact, I believe you came here to thrive, not survive. And what I tell my clients is, look, how cool would it be if you had 10 million US dollars? What would you do? What charity could you create? Would you create? What charity might you give to? What foundation could you start? That's the benefit of being massively rich. You can change the world. It's really hard to serve if you can't eat. So become rich. It's good to become rich, because then you can massively change the world. You can't change it if you're barely surviving yourself.
Absolutely. Totally agree with that one. Totally agree. And stuff. But and then we've to change those limiting beliefs. That, and I love it how you're saying, Joe, that you can't change the world. You can't heal the world or serve the world if you're barely able to eat. So I love that. Thank you. So what can people do about those limiting beliefs?
I have a lot of techniques.
So
I'll give you a few. Yes, it's really important, because so people come to me and say, Joel, I want to grow my business to 10 times, 100 times where it is now, or I want to learn about stocks, I want to learn about real estate, I want to learn this, that. And I say, great, love it. Let's figure out where your mindset is. Because if your mindset is set way down here in fear, worry, sadness, depression, this is where abundance and prosperity vibrate. Up in love, joy, passion, appreciation, and gratitude. And if your mindset is way down here in worry and fear, you can't get here from here. So we have to work on the mindset first. And so let's talk about some ways I work with my clients on mindset. And I know most of the people who are watching this are a bit woo, so they've probably heard about affirmations. So I teach the proper way to do affirmations, and affirmations now have been scientifically proven. Navy SEALs are using positive self-talk here in the US. The most acclimated, the best athletes in the world, they use affirmations and visualization to achieve their dreams, to achieve those medals, those Olympic medals that they're getting. So it's scientifically proven. So let's talk about the ways to use affirmations. I say that don't say things that you don't believe in. For example, I ask my clients to write down the level of belief from 1 to 10. Where 10 is absolute faith. I know this to be true. And 1 is there's no way I believe this to be true. Massive doubt. I give them a list of 19 different affirmations. I ask them to rank from 1 to 10 their level of belief. And if it's not a 7, 8, 9, or 10, we don't say it. For example, some people will say, I am financially free. I am financially free over and over again. I say that may work 5, 10, 15 years from now, if you're doing that every day, all day. But I'd prefer to shorten the time frame to your financial freedom. And if you don't believe it, this is what's going on. You're saying something, and then your conscious mind is saying that's BS. Nothing's happening, at least in the short run. Eventually, you'll knock through over many years. But I'd prefer it to become quicker. So I recommend saying things you do believe, at least 7, 8, 9, or 10 on the belief scale. So why not say, I allow myself to become financially free? Oh, I can get that belief level up to 7, 8, 9, 10, or soon I will become financially free. So soften it. And the other thing that most people who teach affirmations won't tell you is to put your name in it, say it out loud with emotion. Sound is a vibration. And if you're saying, I am financially free, that doesn't have the same vibration as I am financially free. So saying it out loud and put your name in it. I, Joel Salomon, am financially free. And put it in, if you do believe it, say it in the past or present tense. One of the affirmations I teach my clients is, I am a money magnet. So if you believe it, say, I am. Those are the 2 most powerful words in the English language, I am. So I, Joel Salomon, am a money magnet, out loud with emotion. Past or present tense is most powerful, using the words I am, putting your name in it, out loud with emotion. So that's, I say, the proper way to do affirmations. Now, you can also record your own voice saying them and listen to them. How cool is that? We have a phone now that can record your voice and you can listen to it very easily wherever you are. So do that a few times a day. And if you want something to come into your life, I teach visualization. There's 7 powerful steps to visualization. Most people say, oh, I know visualization. Okay. I say, okay, tell me how you do it. So I teach visualization, and here's the 7 powerful steps. There's 6 steps plus the bonus step. So the 6 steps are: 1, pick a time; 2, pick a place. I recommend not doing it right after you wake up in bed. You'll fall back to sleep. And don't do it right before you're going to sleep in bed. You will fall asleep. So pick a time, pick a place outside of bed. Pick the amount of time, 3 to 5 minutes, no more. Once you're doing visualization, you want to take inspired action after you've done it. So pick a time, pick a place, pick the amount of time. And then step 4 is to write down, before you actually do your visualization, 3 dreams and desires. Now, you're not going to link them. It's not going to be, I'm driving my dream car with my dream spouse to my dream home. But you're going to think about each of these specifically, your dream car you're driving, and you're just having a beautiful time doing it. And then once you're done with that for 3, 4 minutes, maybe you can think about the next thing. Step 5 is the most important. Wayne Dyer said in his book, Wishes Fulfilled, make your future dream a present reality by assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Make your future dream a present reality by assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled. So how do you feel driving your blue convertible Maserati at 95 miles per hour or 120K without the police around? And how are you feeling? Maybe you have more hair than me, you have it blowing in the wind, and you see yourself smiling and just really grateful and happy. So getting into that feeling is really important. And then step 6, which I have a hard time doing, it's not essential, is looking down on the experience. You see yourself in the car. Now, here's the bonus step. Think beyond the dream. You already have your blue convertible Maserati. And you're at Cipriani's at 42nd Street in Manhattan, celebrating with 50 of your closest friends that whatever happened for you to manifest that blue convertible Maserati happened, and you all got the glasses of champagne celebrating. You're giving the speech. You're thanking everybody for helping you contribute to that experience. Think beyond the dream.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And you've answered most of my questions now, Joel, so we're just going to have a nice conversation all about money. But it's so true. Everything that you just said, like those steps, make it very clear and very easy for people. But one thing that I've talked to a lot of people about, people believe in the power of visualization. But what do you say for those who say that we can't visualize? Do you actually have to see, or is like what Wayne Dyer says, is feeling it? Is that the most important thing?
Yeah, I think feeling is the most important thing. But if you could, all senses are important. Hearing, like, okay, one of your dreams is to go to Bora. And I'll just show you a quick picture here of me in Bora earlier this year. So that's one of your dreams. Now, you could think about how you're going to feel. What's the temperature going to be? You can check out online. What's the temperature in April? You want to go in April, right? You could picture yourself like, how is the water temperature? It's 30 Celsius. And it's like a bathtub. It feels so nice. And you see yourself smiling, like really get into all the senses. What are you smelling? It's just, you're smelling the salt water and the fresh air. And maybe you could feel, you've been on a beach, feel the white sandy beach on your toes, really getting into all the senses. And I combine visualization with a vision board, like you just saw a picture of me. Now, if anybody wants that picture, let me know, I'll send it to them, of that turquoise waters. And so I combine both the visualization, closing your eyes and picturing where you want to be, what you want to do, but also getting pictures and putting it on a vision board of places you want to go and combining the two. So you see the picture, you can then close your eyes and picture that blue convertible Maserati in your eyes because you've been staring at it or not staring at it. It's just in your room. And that helps as well. Did that answer your question?
Yes, it does. Thank you for that. You mentioned being grateful. So what role does gratitude play in being financially free?
It's rule number 5 in the 9 Money Rules Millionaires Use, my second book from 2019 that became a bestseller. And I think it's one of the most important rules. I mentioned rule number 1 already, when you believe, and belief levels. But gratitude is such a powerful emotion because usually you're grateful or appreciative after something happens. But what if you could be grateful before? Feeling that feeling of gratitude and appreciation before you have the abundance, before you have the millions in the bank, is one of the highest vibrations, as I mentioned earlier. It's the same vibration as abundance and prosperity and joy and passion and love. So what can you do to get into that vibration of appreciation? Here's a couple of suggestions. One is to think about a time in your life that you were grateful. Go back to, so I have two, as I mentioned, I have 2 beautiful daughters, Lauren and Morgan. My company name is named after them, Salo Moore. And I go back to the birth of each of them. That is a grateful moment, right? Really appreciative of the miracle of life, of how did, like, from one tiny cell, this baby comes, like, just, it's a miracle. And I'm so grateful and appreciative in that moment. So think about, it could be your wedding day. It could be something that you achieved in life. Go back and think about that. And the second thing I'd recommend doing, if you don't already have a gratitude journal, is starting one. In the chapter on gratitude, I talk about how important it is to be focused on appreciation, gratitude every day, even when you have one of the worst days ever. So at the end of the day, and you're writing in your gratitude journal, I'm grateful this day is over. That's fine. But generally, it's appreciating the good things that happened during that day. And I will tell you, up until 2012, I spent the last few minutes before I went to sleep thinking about all the things I could have done better that day, all the things I screwed up. Now I let those go and I focus on the things that went well right before I go to sleep, writing in that gratitude journal. Now, here is another really important point in the gratitude journal. And Professor Martin Seligman here in the US did this study, and he connected electrodes to brain synapses of his students at the beginning of the 30 days. And then he did it again at the end of the 30 days. And he had them write at least 3 things they were grateful for every day and why. Writing down why is also really important. So I write, I'm grateful for Lauren and Morgan for teaching me unconditional love every day, every morning, every night. Writing down why. And anyway, so the study found that at the end of the 30 days, after writing in the gratitude journal, these students, each of them had their brain synapses had actually expanded in the areas of happiness. By the way, happiness is rule number 3 in the 9 money rules. So they go together, gratitude and happiness. So you're actually expanding your happiness in your brain by writing down what you're grateful for. How cool is that?
Very cool. Thank you. And I really get it. The more grateful that we are, then I think one of the outcomes is that the happier we become, especially
Yes.
that we can be grateful for everything, even for the shitty days, that we're grateful that the shitty days are over, or that the lessons that they've taught us or whatever. But one of the results is that you naturally become more happy. And is that something that you really recommend for people who find it hard to keep motivated? We live in such a world where we're bombarded by so many doings, and for some people it's a challenge to keep motivated. What can they do to help keep motivated?
This may sound strange, but hopefully not to your community. I stopped listening to the radio news. I stopped watching TV news, and I stopped reading a newspaper in 2012, 12 years ago. I'm still here. In fact, I survived the pandemic. I didn't find out from a newspaper or TV or radio, but I found out, right? So when something is going on in the world, you'll find out. And I will say that those things lower your vibration. It's not news, it's negative news. And so all those things are lowering your vibration. So limit, if you're not going to eliminate it, then just limit the amount of time you're spending on TV news and newspapers and radio news. So that's the first thing. I'd also highly recommend, we talk about this in the 9 money rules, can happiness buy you money? It's a rhetorical question. So create happy habits. So if you're feeling down about your money situation, maybe you've had a low or slow month. So I would recommend writing down some things that make you happy. It could be uplifting songs, it could be meditation or visualization, or it could be playing with your daughters. It could be going for a jog or walking on the beach, maybe doing some gardening. It could be playing with your animals, but make a list. Reading, traveling. And so I've made my list, and I know when I'm not feeling great, I put on my uplifting songs, or I'll just go for a jog, or I'll go for a walk in nature. Those are the things for me. So have that list in your back pocket. So when you're not feeling great, you can not go down this really bad black hole of negativity, but have these go-to items. So you do those things to get back to balance. And again, it's creating the gratitude, the appreciation, the happiness first, because I will say the richest people in the world did those things, and they took inspired action using the visualization techniques to become rich. And again, it's really good to be rich. It's good to have a lot of money because you can help other people.
You can't, you can do so much with when you are financially free yourself. You can help so many other people. And that, I think, is a big thing, Joel. So thank you for sharing that, because a lot of people, think that it's selfish to have a lot of money. But when we think of the good that it can do and how much we can help others, then that kind of, takes away the selfishness.
Yeah, it's just changing the paradigm, changing your mindset, and knowing that you can serve so many more people. You can help so many more people. I will tell you, so when I did manifest millions in 2009 and 2010, I was able to fully fund both of my daughter's university educations. I was able to purchase a condominium townhouse for my parents down in Florida. I was able to contribute a large amount to both my university and also the food bank of New York City so that they can provide meals for thousands and thousands of people. And in fact, in my Money Miracles membership, whenever anyone subscribes to my membership, 10% of that goes to the food bank in New York. So we're contributing to the meals of those who are homeless in the 5 boroughs of Manhattan, of New York City. So the point being that you can do a lot of good. You can do a lot of good for others when you have more money than you need yourself. And you can create a legacy as well for your family, for future generations.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Now, you mentioned that you have a membership. How can people work with you?
Yes, thank you for that question. Yeah, so I have what I call the Money Miracles membership, and it has been miraculous, I will say. If you had told me when we started it a little over 2 years ago that the members would have manifested over 2,100,000 US dollars, I would have said, wow. And it is miraculous the ways that the money has flowed. And some people have said to me, oh, so you gave them some coaching on stocks and they bought some stock. And I'm like, no. In fact, not one of those dollars came from investing in a stock that doubled or tripled. This is surprise monies. It could be that somebody talked to a client a few years ago and last week they came out of the blue and signed up for a program for them. By the way, none of my money manifestations are included in the Money Miracles membership. It's just the members. And so the point of the membership is to move people towards financial freedom as quickly as possible. Watching 5 to 7 minutes of videos that I've recorded every day. I have a weekly question and answer. They can ask me any question about money manifestation, mindset, investing on those calls. I do it every week. And there's a reward system where they can win lifetime membership in the Money Miracles membership. They can win some mastermind free classes, and we have accountability partners. So it's a great community of people that are interested in moving towards financial freedom and helping each other get there. It's available on my website, SALEURMOR.com, or if you want to jump on a call. I give everybody 30 minutes free, by the way, as well. If you want to just jump on a call and get 30 minutes free of prosperity coaching, no obligation to do anything more. And crazy, awesome things have happened after calls with me. I've had a guy manifest $10,000 within 9 days after a call with me. So I will say I adjust people's money vibration to a little bit higher level and then allow the money to flow in.
Well, thank you. Do you have your book with you?
I do. I have this one.
Yes. Okay. And tell us a little bit about it.
I wrote that book after my first book, which was Mindful Money Management, because somebody who had read the book said, This feels like a rule book, but you don't really explicitly say what the lessons you learned as a hedge fund manager were. And okay, this is easy. So I'll put together a list of rules, and we've talked about a few of them. Rule number 1 is when you believe. Rule number 2 is trust your intuition. And I will tell you, there's probably no financial planner or financial advisor out there who will tell you to trust your intuition. But this former hedge fund manager will tell you to trust your intuition, because for me, I either made less money or lost money if I didn't trust my intuition. That's rule number 2. Rule number 3, can happiness buy you money? We talked about. Rule number 4, we talked about, can visualization help you become financially free? We talked about rule number 5, which is gratitude. Rule number 6 is the law of generous giving, which you haven't talked about. But I will tell you, when you're feeling most in lack or scarce, it's a powerful technique. There are billions of people on this earth that are less fortunate than you. And when you give, you're subconsciously telling your mind that you have some money to spare and share. Even if it's a few dollars, do it, because you're going to change that subconscious programming. Rule number 7 is, where's my cash going? It's so the second third of the book. So the first 2/3 of the book are, I call them spiritual laws. The next third of the book is more process oriented. So now we're into the process oriented part of the book. So I talk about budgeting and cash flow. Rule number 8 is DIY investing, do it yourself. I fully believe that everyone on this earth has the ability to be an excellent investor. They've been taught differently, maybe. They've been taught that, no, give your money to a financial advisor, give it to a big institution, they'll do it better. I say you're the best investor of your money, best. And then rule number 9 is the most controversial. It is, don't diversify.
Okay, why not?
So I learned as a hedge fund manager that my top 3, 4, 5 stocks generated more than 100% of the return of the portfolio, and the rest of them, the other 60, 70, 80, lost me money on average. And this happened every year. This is a dirty little secret of portfolio managers, that it's really hard to find 30, 40, 50, 100 great ideas every year. But they're required to, based on, at least here in the US, the Securities and Exchange Commission rules. They have to get a special dispensation or to invest in less than 30 securities. And so most of them don't, almost all of them don't. There might be a few funds that do, but usually they're 25 or more anyway. So 3, 4, 5, that's all you need. Great ideas. Those, and by the way, Warren Buffett here in the US says that if he had his druthers, he would put more than 50% of his net worth in one stock. And Charlie Munger, who was his chairman up until last year when he passed at 99, he was worth billions when he passed away last year. He said, if nothing, diversify. And you could also think about the richest people in the world, Elon Musk, and I'm not making any judgments about him. People, you may love him, you may hate him, but he has 4 companies. That's it. That's where his $250 billion in net worth are, in 4 companies. Is that diversification? Think about Bill Gates, or Bill Gates started Microsoft, or Steve Jobs, who started Apple. They put all their Jeff Bezos, who started Amazon, they put all their net worth in one company.
Yes. Yeah. And it's true, isn't it? It's absolutely true. People think that it's better to have your money in many places because it's safer. Where you can see that if you trust your intuition, then you keep your money in a few places, or even 1 or 2, and it grows so much better. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Now, you have a couple of programs coming up, a couple of courses.
Yes. So each year, twice a year, I teach in detail the 9 Money Rules Millionaires Use course. So I gave you a little snippet of each of the rules. We go in depth for an hour on each of the rules. There are exercises that we go through. It's a 9-week course and it's priced almost free. It's $99 for 9 weeks because myself and Chara, who's a co-facilitate, sits with me. She's a meditation teacher and she also channels, which is really cool. So she channels the rule and then we go into, I teach the exercise. And so we wanted to give everyone in the world access to these rules because we believe that everyone should have this knowledge. And so we priced it at a price point so that everyone could get access.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, that's starting October 1st, again, October 1st, 2024.
Okay, thank you for that. We will certainly be putting all the links in the comments for wherever people are watching this or listening to you. And hopefully you'll get lots of people signing up, including myself. Very interested to find out more. So Joel, before we wrap up, is there anything else that you would like to share?
Most important lesson I've learned through my business career is when things are not going well, hashtag doubt the doubt. Have faith in the dream. Don't have faith in your doubt. You are doing this because it's your purpose, it's your passion. Don't give up. Have faith in the dream. Don't have faith in your doubt.
Thank you. Thank you for that. A wonderful bit of advice. And keep dreaming no matter what. No matter, we all go through things, but keep that dream alive. Thank you so much, Joel, for joining us today. And I do look forward to chatting with you again. Please come back and share any more of tidbits, techniques, any other wisdom that you have for people who are looking to experience financial well-being in their lives, which we all have the right to.
Absolutely. Thank you, Sophia.
Thank you.